Hi there, Joka here, and today I'm sharing this card trio that I've created with the new Spellbinders Becca Feeken collection that's called Beautiful Sentiment Vignettes. And yeah, this is a brand new collection that's now available, and I have a bunch of dies that I worked with here. I don't remember the names of any of them, so I'm just going to link everything down below in the description box. But here you can see the article numbers, and yeah, these are more the traditional kind of dies, and they are these. There will be two. This is one of them that I'm using that are really quite large. Actually, that's quite typical for Becca's collections. And yeah, so my idea was here that I would go with some shaped cards because they are such big dies. I thought they would be perfect for that. And as you can see, there are many dies in each set, and so you can create a lot of different things, layers and layers of things. You can see how many dies there are. You can use them together, you can use them separately. It's just a lot of options. And so my idea was, because the dies are quite traditional, I wanted to pair them with some what I consider trendy. I mean, this is my very first scrapbook collection I've ever bought. So it's actually quite old. But this is, for me, to this day, is still my favorite. And I think these colors are just, at least for me, always on trend. I love the combination of pink, orange, and purple especially. So I'm just trying to pair this with some modern patterns and colors. So actually, what you see here is I'm only using one of the dies from one of the die sets, because it kind of, when I saw it, it reminded me of quilts. So that's what I'm going for here. I die cut, only using this one particular die. I die cut a lot of this form from a lot of, or shape from a lot of different pattern papers. And then I'm creating a background on a slimline card front. And I use, I think, 8.5 by 3.5 excuse me, size for my slimline cards. And yeah, I'm just creating a pattern here. Then I trim off the excess, and there will be white spots you will see in a second, and I will fill those up with some of these papers that I trimmed off. This is just a teeny tiny little bit of pattern paper missing there, but to complete the pattern I will add those back. And I promise I'm also going to be using the dies in a more traditional way, but I just had this idea and I had to try it. So yeah, I kind of like these kind of backgrounds, so I just had to do it. And to add even more to the quilt look, I also added some stitching. As you can see, it's not very visible or prominent, but you can still see it in real life. And I'm adding this to some heavyweight cardstock, which is going to be my card base. I'm always creating my card bases when I create the card. I don't have any prepared. I don't know, I'm just used to it. I think this is my way of working, so to say. And then I always have the exact size that I need trimmed to the card front size. So okay, and then there's another thing I've been obsessed with lately, is white flowers on pattern paper or color cardstock backgrounds. So that's what I'm doing here. There's that one die set with a whole bunch of tiny flowers. I always love these because they are always a great embellishment on the card. So yeah, I got a lot of them, and I'm just assembling them. I know a lot of ladies make really wonderful and lifelike flowers from or with these dies. I don't even think I ever tried that. I don't have the tools. Actually, I just got them, but this video I did at least a month ago. I just got the tools that I can use to create more realistic flowers, and I will do that soon in an upcoming video. I don't know if I should be excited or terrified about it because I've never tried, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I think that should be coming up end of July. So let's see if I can figure that out. Okay, so now I created 3 clusters of the with these white flowers. They are not all the same. I try to actually, now that I'm looking at it, they are in fact the same 3 flowers and 3 leaves. And yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to best place them. So you can see they are the same flowers, but they are not arranged the same way. Sometimes I like repetitive things, other times, most of the times I don't. So I just try to switch them up, place the leaves differently, or just that they are not all the same. So yeah, I'm gluing everything down with liquid glue, and then this card is almost done. I'm just adding a few enamel dots to the flower centers, and these colors are all matching the colors in the pattern papers. I try to find as many different ones as possible. Purple, orange, pink, even mint. Yeah, and then I only need a sentiment, for which I'm going to use one of these new set. Again, I forget the name. I recently did in a video. I foiled a whole bunch of them. I think they were called some mini sentiments. I don't know, but I will add everything down below. So the card was already so colorful and busy. I just added a simple sentiment. Now on to the next one. So this one is going to be a shaped card. So I die cut that base twice, and then I'm gonna create a shaped card base. I will show you in a second how I do my shaped cards. I know you can do them different ways, but I always do it this same way. I just score. God, I couldn't remember the word. So I just score wherever I feel like I should score it, and then I glue that onto the card front, as you can see here, and then you can just open up the card, and you still have plenty of space to write a message in there. Okay, now I'm placing, I die cut all these small bits and pieces here from different pattern paper. I wanted to add some more color there and interest, and I'm just using this front piece to help guide me with the placement. but I will actually use foam tape on that big piece. I think I probably use some temporary adhesive to glue that down, just that it doesn't move. Yeah, I did. And now I'm going to add some foam tape to it, just to create some dimension there. And because these bits on the side, so the outline is not too skinny, I can add some foam tape there as well. I don't like to add or let's say I don't really bother adding foam tape where it's very skinny, so you can see on the two sides. I won't be adding or any of these intricate pieces. I'm not adding any foam tape, but it's fine. I have it in the middle and on the side, so the card it's not going to be crushed in the mail. Okay, so now that's done, and I'm also adding foam tape to this piece. You see, this is the piece that I used for my previous card. Really, there's so many options with these dies. Unfortunately, I only had time for these 3 cards, and I will tell you this like I said, I already made this, like, I don't know, a month ago at least, because I have not touched paper in a month. It's terrible, but I just had no time. And well, I hope I'm gonna be better in this next month, because I have a lot of products that I should create with, so there should be new stuff coming up. Okay, and now that I have all that nice white in that card, I am adding some colorful flowers this time. And for this I used different pattern papers. For the pink I used just one, but here for the orange I used 2 different ones. Not that you can really see that when you layer up everything, because I didn't offset those layers, but when you see it in person you can still see that there is something different, like here as well on this yellow, although here I offset it so you can actually see the different layers and patterns. So I just create one cluster here, and I'm adding some leaves as well, and just a sentiment. Again, the sentiment is from the same foil plate set, which I recently created so many of. This is when it comes in really handy. I don't have to spend any time on creating sentiments. I did that once, and then I can use them for a long time, because I have so many. And then I just don't have to think about what sentiment to add, what would fit, or stamp it or not stamp it. It's just practical, I think. So some enamel dots again, and I'm just going to use liquid glue to add this sentiment here, and I tuck it under the flowers there. And then that's done. And then my third card is pretty similar. This is another die set, and again I'm creating a shaped card. This one is a bit smaller than the other one. So I die cut that biggest piece, or the solid piece, for my card base, and I'm doing the exact same thing here. And by the way, I will mention this. The reason I'm not doing a lot of shape cards, because for those I really need a clean cutting plate. Otherwise they will be, there's going to be a lot of impression in them from the cut lines that I already have. So when I do shaped cards, I always use new cutting plates. And yeah, I don't like to do that often. I use my cutting plates for quite a long time. They are quite beaten up, but you can never see the backside of those die cuts. But here you do, because the card base, you know, you see that. Okay, so as you saw, this frame piece I die cut 3 times and I layered it up just for some dimension, and now I'm placing back this paper there. This is actually my most favorite paper from the whole collection. Unfortunately, I'm gonna cover it up. I mean, I don't know. It should be visible because it's so beautiful, but yeah. This in this case, I'm not using a sentiment because this layer of the die has heartfelt thanks written on it, and I die cut this from white cardstock as well as some yellow cardstock, and I kind of offset it a little bit so that it stands out more. Maybe you can see it from here, but you will see it in the close-up. It's quite visible. And then I'm just going to add 2 clusters of flowers, one at the top and one at the bottom. And I'm also using a little bit of foam tape in some cases just to add a little bit more dimension to those flowers. But they are really, really small. So, you know, yeah, especially this one, it was not easy with my big hands to, you know, to shape those petals. All right, so yeah, I have a bunch of different colors here. I did not want to create 2 of the same clusters. I mean, they are still gonna be pretty similar because at least the placement is similar or the same, but at least I used a blue flower for one of the clusters, and for the other one an orange one. Yeah, and the flowers are also not the same because there's so many different ones in that set. I just had to use several different ones. Okay, and once I'm done assembling these, I can continue on my card, which is really almost done. I just have to glue everything down, and then yeah, that's pretty much done. All right, so I used the what's it called, this Barely Art liquid glue that you can buy at Spellbinders, and it's been my favorite one. I did mention it in another video, I think, as well. I like that I have the option to move things around still a little bit. It doesn't dry right away, but it still dries very fast. So yeah, recently I'm only using this glue. I really like it. Okay, so once I glued everything down, the only thing left for me to do is add a little bit of embellishing in the form of enamel dots. If you have been following me, then you know that I like to add enamel dots to pretty much everything. So I really do have them in all kinds of colors, but lately some of them just don't stick. These white ones, these are actually matte white, and they don't stick at all. I was really upset with it because I just don't have any glue that keeps them in place. I used the this liquid glue on them, but I will be honest, I have not tested later when it dried if I can remove them or not. I should though. I don't like when things fall apart. Normally I use glue dots on them if I have to, but the tiny ones, I think I don't have that size right now. Okay, so this is done as well. As you can see, this is a bit smaller than the other one. But yeah, I mean smaller than my hand, but it's still really cute. So this one is the bigger card. Okay, and then I have this slim line card that I created first. All right, I hope I could give you some inspiration or ideas to create something different with these traditional dies. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.